Sometimes I catch myself opening my bank app, not to check the numbers, but because something feels heavy in my chest. It's not panic, just a quiet pressure that sits there. Like money is weighing on my mind without saying a word. There are nights when money thoughts show up right before sleep. They don't rush in loudly. They just sit there quietly. And once they're there, it's hard to fully rest. And for a moment, I wonder if I'm the only one who feels this way. Like everyone else has it figured out, and I'm just quietly behind. That question lingers longer than it should. What if the biggest money fear isn't actually being broke, but what being broke might say about who we are? The fear of failing quietly, of falling behind without anyone noticing. That question alone can sit heavy in the chest, even when the numbers look fine. Hi, I'm Bella, and this is Money Talk with Bella. This is a space for honest conversations. Because money is never just money. It's tied to our identity, our choices, and our sense of security. If you're drawn to clarity-based growth, you're welcome to subscribe. Today, we're not fixing anything or chasing answers. We're simply sitting with the quiet money fears we rarely say out loud, and that honesty is where growth begins. We're expected to talk about money like we have it all figured out. Even when we don't. There's this quiet performance of confidence we learn over time. And it gets exhausting, pretending you're certain when you're not. There's an unspoken rule that you're supposed to look financially okay. Like stability is something you wear, not something you feel. So we keep the mask on, even with people close to us. And without anyone saying it out loud, money starts to mean more than money. It becomes a quiet scorecard for responsibility, maturity, even worth. That's a heavy thing to carry in silence. I remember smiling through conversations about future plans, even while quietly calculating what I could actually afford. On the outside, I looked confident, but inside, I was doing mental math just to keep up. Sometimes the fear wasn't really about money at all. It was about disappointing someone else, or realizing I might be letting myself down. Money anxiety has quiet tells. A tight jaw, a rushed "I'm fine," or suddenly changing the subject when the conversation gets too close. There were moments I wondered if being careful meant I was falling behind, or if it simply meant I was finally being honest about where I was. Most of us didn't learn about money through open conversations. We learned through silence at the dinner table, tension in adult voices, or quiet comparisons we weren't supposed to notice. Without realizing it, we absorbed money as something emotional, not practical. Over time, numbers stopped being just numbers. They became symbols of safety, freedom, respect, and even love. That's why money decisions often feel heavier than they logically should. So, when money fear shows up, it's almost never random. It's usually carrying years of memories, expectations, and pressure with it. What feels like panic today is often an old story asking to be noticed. When you think about money, notice what shows up first before logic even has a chance to speak. It's usually not a number or a plan, but a feeling that arrives quietly and sits heavy. That first emotion often tells a deeper story than any spreadsheet ever could. Sometimes the fear isn't about not having enough money. It's about what not enough might say about your choices, your discipline, or your worth. And that story can feel heavier than the actual financial reality. If you're really honest, there's often someone you feel you need to be okay for. A partner, a family member, your younger self, or even an invisible audience you carry around. Money fear becomes quieter, but deeper, when it's tied to who you think you're supposed to be. Let's slow down here for a moment. You don't need to solve anything right now, and you don't need a plan. This is just a pause, a quiet breath in the middle of all the noise around money. No answers are needed here. Just notice what's stirring beneath the surface when money comes to mind. Sometimes awareness itself is the most honest form of progress. Sometimes naming the feeling is already enough for today. Fear, pressure, uncertainty, they don't need fixing right away. Being honest with yourself is a meaningful step forward. You don't have to resolve these money thoughts today. You can carry them gently, let them sit with you, and notice what they slowly ask of you over time. If this conversation felt familiar, you can like the video and subscribe for clarity-based growth. And if someone came to mind while listening, share this with them and tell me your thoughts in the comments. Not conclusions, just honest reflections. This is Money Talk with Bella, because money is never just money, and thank you for sitting with me today.